Hello, listener, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Keeping Up Appearances podcast, full of opinion, debate, and football trivia with a hint of nostalgia. I'm Callum Murray, and here with me is
Sean O'Hara,
Bob Gall, and Michael Tosh.
They say not to judge a book by its cover, but we might judge a player by their appearance. Let's get into it.
I said if Ken Rice hadn't already died, he'd have been murdered. Then the excessive tributes to that panto nonce are all the more irritating now. He's absolutely killed us almost single-handedly, and there's no acknowledgement of his terrible failures.
Did you call him a
bombshell?
Panto nonce, did you call him?
Yeah. I quite like that nickname for him.
Speaking of panto nonces, how you doing, Sean?
What a welcome. Cam said he'd be about a couple of minutes late, but...
All right, it's okay. I'll just go and get a drink then.
Yeah.
What do you know what he's doing, Sean, for his, did he decide on one?
What he's doing being on this podcast? I don't know. He had Jakubu, Yobo, but then he replaced Yobo with Decore. So I've got a feeling he might do Decore. I said to him, one of the lads doesn't like Decore.
Say that apart.
Who?
Worst footballer in the world. Decore is a terrible footballer, man.
We'd already be relegated if it wasn't for him.
It doesn't make him a good footballer.
Yeah,
we might not have been 17th, having to survive on the last day if it was not for him.
A load of nonsense. I've just thought of another Marooned 5 he could have done.
Topic.
Yeah. Completely separate one. Worst football fashion errors, like after Trent's looking like Macron Paddy the other day.
We also going to say that.
Yeah, that. No, you got that United squad.
Yeah.
Spice Boys.
Yeah, Spice Boys, Calvert-Lewin and Tom Davis.
Not Tom Davis.
Yeah, absolutely not Tom Davis.
Did you say worst or best?
You didn't like that sort of thing, Callum.
I know. So if that was Calvert-Lewin, he'd have loved it.
Yeah. Well, Calvert-Lewin would have looked better for a start.
No, it was just terrible. I don't really like those type of jackets.
You what?
I don't really like those type of jackets.
Oh.
Ones that don't look like they fit.
Once I make him he's got a walk underneath his top.
Yeah, it's one for the future. Bob, anyway.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's working. Oh, sound. I've been having a nightmare with getting this headset working. All right, I'm on.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Do you fellas mind audibly? I believe me camera off for a bit just while I finish my tea.
Yeah, of
course.
Oh, buzzing sound. It's going cold in.
How are you, Cam? You all right?
Yeah, sound. I was literally just about to have a mouthful then. So
sorry.
You're all right, don't worry.
We'll talk and I'll edit your bits in at the end. It sounds.
That's sound. I'll try not to burp at anything. That'd be grim.
What are you having?
You're doing this on purpose now? What? Some kind of the missus buys this filled pasta. It's all right, but it's a bit of a faff. It's like chicken with this filled pasta and some mushrooms that
like tortellini sort of thing, or
kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm not Italian, so no. It's just whatever she brings back from Aldi does me.
Fair play.
No.
We do what we can. I'll try my best.
Are we now off menu?
It's Carney, what's he going to do? Rooney! Oh, yes!
So, welcome back to this week's Keeping Up Appearances podcast. We have our usual squad of 4, Tosh, Bob, Sean and myself. And we have another guest for you all. We are very pleased to have with us Cam Green, a fellow Evertonian, just to keep up with the bias. You may know him from the Stephen Tries podcast too. Cam, how are you doing?
All right, just choking down some pasta there, son. I knew it was coming. I knew the question was coming. I was just desperately chewing to get in there.
We have some good stuff planned for today. Obviously, we have Gordon Marooned 5 for you all. We'll have our Keeping Up Appearances game at the end, and I will now hand you over to Sean for a good game of Any Given Saturday.
Right, so for those that haven't listened, Any Given Saturday is a little game we play at the start of each episode where I choose a random game week from a previous Premier League season. I choose 2 games, and it's your job. Oh, well, your job, lads, and anyone at home to have a go at guessing who the scorers were. You can ask me questions, yes or no questions, and when you think you know, ask me if a player scored. So, our game week this week is match day 34 from the 10-11 season.
Oh, yeah. I remember it well.
2011 this is. And our first game is a nice, straightforward 1-1 draw between Blackpool and Newcastle.
Will one of the scorers have played at the African Cup of Nations?
No.
Did one of the scorers have a double-barreled surname?
No.
Did one of the scorers' initials could have given his occupation as working at a radio?
Cam should have asked that question really as one himself, but yes, he did.
Is it DJ Campbell?
It is DJ Campbell. Well done. Blackpool scorer.
I'm gutted. My next question was going to be, does one of them have really wide teeth?
Yes, there you go. So DJ Campbell equalised for Blackpool, but who scored for Newcastle?
Was he Argentinian?
No.
Was he French?
No.
Did he look like he could have been in Kasabian?
No.
Oh,
Is he Scout?
No. You're all focused on nationality here?
Was he a midfielder?
No.
Was he
Striker?
a striker?
He was a striker.
It's okay, now we're talking.
And he wasn't anything to do with AFCON, no?
Nope.
being funny, who else was in that team?
Can't tell you that.
That's my.
Who else was
that
in
was
that
my
team
Hail
and might
Mary.
have scored, is my
Oh.
question.
Is he a Geordie?
He's not, no.
Was he a long-term legend for Newcastle's?
No, I can tell he played for 3 years.
Did he play for a few other Premier League clubs? Was he about a lot of clubs in the Premier League, or was he in? Well, answer that one.
He played for one other Premier League team.
Did we nail his nationality at any point? No.
Nope.
No, didn't say enough countries. Is he European?
Yep.
Spanish.
Nope. Gonna be a long day, this, isn't it?
But what are some other European countries? Is he still playing?
No. Retired in 2014 at another Premier League team.
Was he Dutch?
No, but you're getting closer.
Was he Belgian?
Not that close.
Was he German?
No.
When you say close, what do you mean? As in proximity to the country, or?
Yeah, I think so. My geography's not great, but I'm sure it's around there.
Shame I haven't got a globe around me.
Anyone want to
Is
clue?
he?
Oh, go on.
If he's not Dutch and he's not Belgian, is he from one of the what do you call it, Scandinavian countries?
He is.
Ah, nice. Who had like a Viking name?
There is definitely one.
Was John Dahl Thomason still there, or then, or? Which Scandinavian country, Sean? Rather than just guessing them all.
Well, can I give you the clue instead?
Yeah, go on
Go on
then.
then.
Okay, so in terms of like football memes, he's very much a part of the football meme world, featuring an animal of some sort.
Oh, did he play for Celtic?
No,
Oh,
close.
oh.
Oh, did he play for Rangers?
He's a Lovenkrands.
That's it.
Is his dog?
Yeah,
Very
Peter
good.
Lovenkrands, yeah.
And I
You
never
picked that
got
game just
name.
purely for Peter Lovenkrands, didn't you?
I absolutely, honestly, I love that meme so much. It's so funny.
Did you see someone did it as fancy dress recently?
Yeah,
Didn't he?
I did see that. That is one of the great memes. I've got to give you that one. Oh, I'm good that we didn't get that one, actually.
Right, next game then. This one's, well, probably going to be a bit harder. 4-2.
Great.
Sunderland 4, Wigan 2.
Swear you pick Sunderland Wigan every week.
Would any of them have played in the African Cup of Nations?
Yes.
Did one of them miss a penalty in the World Cup quarter-final?
Yes,
Was it Asamoah Gyan?
it is. So there's one. So that you've got three goal scorers for Sunderland. You've just got one of them, and two for Wigan. So
Did-
you've got Asamoah Gyan.
Did one of the other Sunderland ones go on to play for Liverpool?
You did.
Simon
he-
Mignolet.
Not quite.
Ah,
Does he want to come back to England now because he hasn't quite changed the perspectives over in Saudi Arabia?
What a question. And yes, he does.
Damari Gray.
Yeah.
So I'll accept your answer there, Tosh. So yeah, and he actually scored two. So we've had Asamoah Gyan and Jordan Henderson who got two.
going to Ajax, my bird.
Jan?
Yeah, hasn't he?
Yeah, as a Mojan, coming out of retirement, teach the kids how to do it.
Wigan, Sean, is one of them from Liverpool.
No, you ask
Is-
that every week.
Did
Is he
I ask
from-
oh, go on, sorry, Rob.
Is he from Colombia?
No,
Is he from Egypt?
no. Back to that again, aren't we?
Is he just Maynor Figueroa?
Did you say that just because you want me to tell me story? As if you knew.
What, Maynor Figueroa?
Go on, Sean.
I've played footy against him, Cam,
Have you? Is he any
numerous
good?
times
Where?
in St Helens.
No way. Where in St Helens?
Ruskin, the Pilks ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played there on a Monday. Well, obviously not tonight, but normally on a Monday.
Oh, I used to do that.
And
In Ruskin.
yeah, and then one week, my mate who I played with, he was like, "Hey, do you remember me in a Figueroa?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "He's over there."
That's mad.
And then he brought his son along. He plays for Liverpool. Honestly, he's better than him. He's unbelievable.
That's mad.
He's like 15. Yeah,
Is he better than you?
well, obviously, everyone there was better than me. There was kids on the next pitch who were better than me.
I thought you were going to back yourself there, Sean.
No.
Right. Back to any given Saturday now. Come on.
Thanks for that, though, Cam. I've been dying to tell that story.
No. I've seen Connor Cody playing there with his dad.
Yeah,
Goes and plays walking football. Yeah.
I've played against Connor Cody as well.
All right. So I tell you what, I'm starstruck here.
You should try and get a game with them playing walking football, Sean. That'd suit you. Be able to get past you, man.
Yeah, no.
The Wigan ones. Did one of them play for Newcastle?
Not that I know of.
Is one of
Is
them?
it-
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, is one of them tricky in French?
No.
Oh,
Is one of them now Wigan manager?
No, but I am going to make a little amendment to an earlier answer. One of them did play for Newcastle.
Did Joe Kinnear pronounce his name wrong, which caused him to leave?
No.
It wasn't Charles
Is it-
Zogbia.
No, it wasn't Charles and Zogbia.
Called him Charles Insomnia, didn't he?
he's given many a fullback a sleepless night. That man.
Is one of the Wigan scorers not Ginger?
They're both not ginger.
Yeah.
Does one of the
just-
Wigan, does one of the Wigan scorers have a surname of a fish?
No. Who's that?
Connor Salmon.
On a salmon.
Oh. No. I'm trying to think of a player then called Cod.
It wasn't Ronnie Trout again, was it?
One's a midfielder and one is a striker from Argentina.
So the
Franco De
midfielder from
Santo.
France is not tricky.
Yeah, so Franco De Santo is one of them. Well done. Last one, midfielder, played for 3 other Premier League teams as well.
It's not Sessegnon.
For Sunderland?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Shout.
The only reason he's popped into my head was he had a really overpowered card on like FIFA 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch it, we weren't even talking about Sunderland.
Reminded me of
Just came out the
Franco De
blue.
Santo. No,
That's
just
next.
reminded me of
Session's the
Franco
answer to
Santo.
next week's one.
I'm in my own head.
Oh yeah, there's Sunderland done. Just one more for Wigan. Most known for playing for West Ham, I'd say.
Oh,
Is it Amalfitano?
No,
Was it
Whoa.
Modi Army?
it was Modiami. Well done.
Ah,
that's good.
I didn't even know he was at Wigan.
I remember him being there.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, so well done.
What country
Okay,
did he represent though? Because I reckon he's AFCON linked.
Senegal.
I'm going to pick him, actually. I was struggling till this point, so I'm going to pick him.
Have any of you seen the list of players who could like register for an African country? And like apparently Kevin De Bruyne could play for Burundi through his grandparents or something.
Oh,
Greatest man ever.
This is what I'm thinking. I saw him the other day.
After
What
Cal.
about me? Yeah, what about me?
Right, go ahead, Cal. Oh, in fact, sorry, before we move on, Cam, just about the Marooned 5.
Oh yeah.
Have you narrowed it down to one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, have you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the one who gives me the most joy.
Is that who I think it is?
I think it
Current
is.
Everton player?
Oh yes.
Okay,
Loves
perfect.
his club more than his country. What a man.
so before we go on to Maroon 5, we'll have a quick review of the game of the weekend, which was Newcastle versus Manchester City. To be fair, a great game. 3-2, you probably struggle to find a better 5 goals in one game. Anybody have any thoughts? Anyone watching?
Not a bad goal in the whole game.
That was great. You're all
Just-
great.
Absolute sauce. That Oscar Bob finish. That's the kind of thing you dream about scoring. And even the first touch as well, that he takes off that De Bruyne pass. That's hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a player just coming through, that little La Croqueta, wow. I must have seen that at least 10 times now. And I hate City, but I hate Newcastle more.
Yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
same.
Yep. What a
Yeah,
goal.
Yeah, great goal. Great goal. Do that in like the 90th minute as well.
Oh,
Was that the best, you think?
I
think De
really
Bruyne's-
I think they were all good for different reasons. I think Silva's he caught that like so sweetly, even though it's like that kind of finish. The way he's caught it is
Yeah.
really clean, and he's like proper direct. It's almost like a volley the way he's caught that. De Bruyne is just great the way he opened his body out, and the keeper just completely fell for it,
mhm.
and he sort of stroked it back across the goal.
Just how softly it went in De Bruyne's, like just
Yeah.
literally was just passing it into the goal, wasn't it? I just thought it was
Yeah,
brilliant.
just the way he opened his body up and then put it back across him. Then
It
obviously that
did
Oscar
look
Bob.
like an absolute P roller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
That
Who was
Bob,
the City keeper who commands it? Ortega.
Ortega, yeah.
Yeah.
Ortega. He's got a silly stats about him where he's kept that team. He was is it Arminia Bielefeld or something? He kept them in the Bundesliga, and then as soon as he left, they dropped 2 divisions, and they're now in the 3rd tier and might go down to the 4th.
God.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like Pickford for us.
oh, it'd be unbelievable. Everyone always says this: who's the best Everton player? It's got to be Pickford. Like without him, we'd have been dead and buried long ago. But this guy, I think about him, he has it must have been one of the best seasons in European history. Could be a sick goalie, and then he just goes and rots on City's bench.
Best job in
And-
world football, I thought.
No,
Well, to be fair, yeah,
Scott Carson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Carson, yeah. Great job. Great job. But yeah, I think Oscar Bob's obviously was a great goal. And then even to be fair, the 2 Newcastle ones, which were very similar, they were just great finishes. Isaac won the pass from Guimaraes was quality to
Yeah.
that first time. And the way Isaac just cut inside, he just hits it perfectly, doesn't he? Sort of the curl in there. But to be fair, Gordon's run for that goal was great. I think Gordon makes Isaac's goal.
Who's Isaac?
The striker.
Say his name properly, Callum.
Sorry. God, do you want to tell us how to pronounce it? Bob?
Well, I'll get it wrong as well, but less wrong than you. It's Isaac, isn't it, or Isaac?
Isaac, I thought it was.
Yeah,
Not Isaac.
Do you know what? That's that casual racism which I expect more of you, Callum.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it was just.
You
sorry
never
for
hear Jack
pronouncing his
Grealish's
wrong.
name wrong, do you?
Sometimes.
Oh,
But yeah, Anthony Gordon. I'll be overlap, right? Yeah, no, they were both great goals. You know, it's really good goals. It was a good game. I thought it was.
Sort of had everything in the game, didn't it? Just before half time, it sort of got a bit of a bit tasty as well, didn't it? It was a bit with Rodri and Bruno, which was good. Yeah, no, it was. Thought City for up until Newcastle scored the first, City were absolutely brilliant.
Mhm.
But even in that, Newcastle had a bit of spells, and I think it shows City's vulnerabilities. I think they're not without Haaland clinical, and then they still are. I mean, you've seen against Everton as well, didn't you? Like, we were never in that game and go 1-0 up just out of absolutely nothing. I think they have got that something about them. But now with De Bruyne coming back and Haaland in the future, you think they're probably going to have enough to get back in games, which, if De Bruyne doesn't come on, they might not score them 2 goals, you'd think.
It's flashes of quality, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, there's not so many teams in the league who could be under the cosh. Not so many teams in world football who could get, kind of battered and then within 2 minutes bring on, who should have been Burundi's best ever player. Turn a game on its head. We'll say about the goals. Isaac's one. He kind of that could have been blocked on another day. If he'd carried on running, I'd have said, "Oh, what a great goal!" And it was a great goal, and he does send his man. But a better defender, maybe, or a more lucky defender might have stopped that on the day. And as good as Bernardo Silva's goal was, he could have scored a better one if it wasn't for the heroics from what's his name, Dubravka. Yeah, that would have been a much better goal, aesthetically, anyway.
Yeah, it would have, that because the pass from Alvarez looked terrible the way he hit it, didn't he? He made him in it on the half volley, but that was fantastic. He's such a great footballer, Bernardo, isn't he? He's just brilliant to watch.
Oscar Bob's one has got to be the best one. That's like, if you stick that in an Iniesta compilation, everyone's like, "Oh, do you remember when he did that?" He'll be some player, that lad. Wouldn't you have thought he'd have been kind enough to just lend him to us for a couple of months at least? I wouldn't bench Dwight McMessi for him, but still, looks all right. If I was a fan of like Mansfield or something, I'd be really demoralised because as soon as those 115 charges hit, they're going to have to be facing him at least twice a season. I mean, as a Prescott Cables fan, I'm watching that thinking Grealish when he turns up at Prescott Cables. Good God, they're going to have to up the ticket prices from a tenner.
What was that lad? Was it Dale Jennings? Didn't he end up at Cables?
Is that the lad who went to Germany? Yeah.
Went to Bayern, yeah.
I think he did a few of the ones around like non-league. I'm sure he was around like sort of the other ones, Bootle and people like that as well. I might be wrong on that, but
I'm surprised no one's bumped into him at five-a-side yet. Although
I'll probably play him next week.
If you did, would you recognise him? That's the thing.
I wouldn't.
He might have snapped us all.
He's not good enough to get in Sean's game by the sounds of it.
You don't bench Connor Cody's dad for Dale Jennings.
Should we move it on anyway? Bob, do you want to give a special mention to your friend, Mr. Coleman, before we move it on?
Oh, am I doing the really seamless link as well?
I didn't know there was a seamless link, but...
There is a seamless link? Yeah, I like it. Said his name wrong there, Cal. So it's been another week of bad news for the mighty Toffees. I think I've got to the stage of acceptance in the 5 stages of grief now. I'm just waiting for our fate to be sealed with another points deduction. So even I am struggling to be happy about Everton at the moment. The one bit of joy over the weekend was seeing Seamus Coleman make his, I should really remember this stat, I think
355th.
Yeah, Premier League appearance for Everton. It was a great banner which almost brought a tear to my eye before the game, 15 years of Seamus, and just seeing him back on the field after some really bad injuries and put in another solid shift was probably the highlight of what was a otherwise very dull game.
Yeah, great.
Any comments?
Yeah, no, just I was happy for him, to be honest. I missed it, the banner, to be honest, which was great. But yeah, just I got in too late. But
I don't get annoyed by the comments of great servants because I don't quite get annoyed, but for 3 years maybe before the leg break, he was one of the best fullbacks in the league, both attacking and defending. He's obviously not been the same since, but he still gives 110% and genuinely cares about Everton. So I think he'll go down as one of the all-time greats. And obviously, my dad, being the biased man he is, he said his line was seeing Seamus as one of the highlights of my near 60 years of going to the game, which is a bit mad because he's actually seen relative success. That just shows how much we love Seamus, really.
Yeah.
So,
just
any
great
other comments?
Yeah, I was just going to say, at least we've had one great fullback in the last 20 years. That's what I've ended on.
Well, we'll bring him up after, I'm sure. The link I was referring to was that. I'll ask the question, even though I'm sure you've all seen the video. Can anyone remember who Seamus Coleman came on for his Premier League debut?
Oh,
He was in your original 5, Cam.
was he?
Yeah.
Pienaar? No, can't have been. He wouldn't have been there.
No, your original
He
5.
was. No, he
Yobo.
was there.
Joseph
Yeah.
Yobo.
Yeah.
No way.
Good fact, Bob. I like it.
I assume that meant another right back icon. Tony Hibbert probably moved to centre half, didn't he? Would it have been
You know, he's
Neville?
got the same birthday as me, Tony Hibbert. And every
Oh.
year I send him a message saying, "Happy birthday, big man," or something nice. You know what I mean? Hope you catch a big trout or whatever. Not once has he ever messaged me back.
He's a bit of a recluse, isn't he? Keeps himself to himself on his massive fishery or whatever they're called.
I'm
Carpery
sure he
in
doesn't. He's
France.
carpery. Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't care. But when
You do.
phone screens. Oh, I care. I care very deeply. When phone screens like change from lock to home screen for the first time, I had one of Leighton Baines with Alex Turner and Miles Kane as my home screen, and as my lock screen was the Fisher's World. Yeah, the Fisher's World. Brother, and he in his car, and then I kissed the girl and got rid of him. And life's never really been the same, you know. It was an innocent time.
all gone downhill.
Oh, wasn't it just?
Okay, then we'll move on to this. Talk about Marooned 5. So just a recap of last week's. So we did Traitors, and the winner was Sol Campbell, who I picked, and he got 54% of the vote online. Thanks to everyone who voted, sending Sol to the island.
How many votes were there?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I was just going to say, because I forgot to vote for mine, so that would have been...
All I'm saying is if you'd have voted for yours, you'd have probably won, Bob. So we'll be joining Paul Pogba, Zinedine Zidane, and Jason Kumas on the island. This week, we're going to go with another topical one. We're going to go with an AFCON themed one. So you might know that the AFCON Cup of Nations starts on Saturday. So we're going to pick our favourite African players to have played in the Premier League. So it doesn't have to be best, just our personal favourite. So I started last week, didn't I? Bob, who are you going?
Well, I nearly changed my mind last minute, but I haven't. I'm surprisingly... Well, there were quite a few Everton options, but I haven't gone for one, which will come to a surprise for most people. I'm going to go with a very dominant midfielder who had a spell of about 4 years, maybe, when he was possibly my favourite non-Everton player in the league. I think he was also mentioned as part of Marooned 5 for football families, but I might be misremembering that.
Desperate to get to the island with Kumas.
Yeah. What a midfield partnership that would have been. So I'm going to go for Yaya Toure, who for Man City for 3 or 4 years was absolutely unbelievable. Could do absolutely everything. I love a player that is good with both feet, and some of his goals he scored on that, I think, 20-goal season were just ridiculous. Strong, powerful, quick. He just had absolutely everything, and loves his birthday like I do, so that's another reason for me to pick him.
He kick off because no one got him a cake.
Yeah, which is, I don't blame him at all for that. I'd do exactly the same, so that's another reason why I like him. Any comments? Until he probably lost his legs, I don't really think he had a flaw to his game, really. 20
goals and 9 assists, wasn't it, in 13-14?
Yeah.
And he had them peaches of free kick. A fella that big. Yeah. A fella who must be that much of a nightmare to play against should not be pinging free kicks that were that gorgeous that year. What a player he
He
was.
sort of stood like at a weird like right angle, didn't he? Like he came from like the side and like sort of kicked in and sort of doing something you can't like people can't listen and can't see. But yeah, he was just unbelievable. I think we as you say, Bob, we did talk about him then, but just that season, my God, like he just dragged them to the title. Just unbelievable. Again, there was the first league title. It was in the running. He was such a important player for them then. So yeah, I think that's a really good shout.
Probably my most sensible suggestion for Marooned 5.
Yeah.
I was just looking to see if Yaya Toure played for Everton, just to see.
I think honestly, I think he was linked at one stage earlier on, but
there was going to be a double
happen.
swoop, wasn't there, with Yaya Toure and Riquelme coming in at once? We get Oscar Cardozo the next window.
Yeah.
What a midfield that would have been.
Yeah. Good shout, Bob. Yaya Toure.
Thank you.
Hard to argue with that. And
I'll leave. I'll leave now then.
Given his second attempt to get on the island, will he be successful this time?
I know. It's getting a bit tragic now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, half embarrassing for him, to be honest.
Got done by Bobby and Jack Charlton last time as well. Next up, Sean, go on.
Okay. So my choice this week is, do you know what? It's a bit weird saying it on the topic of favourite African players. He's probably not my favourite because.
Can you tell us who it is then, and we'll submit that one, please?
No, what I mean by that is obviously there's Everton players who I like a lot more than I do this player. But I'm thinking non-Everton players, the one player that I've always kind of liked. I like the almost like mystique about him. And the main reason I like him is because Thierry Henry thinks he's the best African player he's ever played with. So that's good enough for me. So the player I'm talking about is Kanu, who was, I think, fantastic for Arsenal for those few years, late 90s, early noughties. When we were kids, you all might be different, but obviously my love of Thierry Henry meant that I actually really liked that Arsenal team. And by the time I was watching that Arsenal team, I'd say Kanu was probably the super sub, wasn't he? He wasn't really a starter because he had Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, all those kinds of players. But Kanu always had a bit of I don't know, as I said before, that mystique about him where he just seems so unpredictable. And he had that touch of class at all times where there's a thing I love in a player where it's like he always makes the right pass, as you three know from playing with and against me. I take the first touch as soon as I can and get rid of the ball. What I love about Kanu is if you look at his highlights and stuff, there's so many little feints he does where he just does a defender and you think he got such a cool head in that situation, does a little feint, beats about 4 men and then just puts it in. And I just think when you think about the early days of African football in England with your Kochas and players like that.
Alex Iwobi's uncle, give him his proper title.
Sorry, his proper title, yeah. I just think they had that almost the fun side of football that has been lost now. And Kanu definitely had that. He might not have been the most prolific goal scorer, but as a player, technically, he was phenomenal. His touch, even his passing for a forward was quality. He dropped deep into the midfield, which you probably didn't see a lot back then. A forward like him dropping back into midfield and just kind of playmaking. I just thought he was quality. And I think there's the old adage of good feet for a big man. Personally, I think he's the definition of that. But I think the back end of his career, other than you, Tosh, obviously, I think the back end of his career when he was at West Brom and Portsmouth, he almost became a bit of a parody.
Didn't he score that awful sitter?
Missed it.
Scored on missed that sitter.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And now, if you think about him, you think, he was garbage. Him. He looks like a big lanky, uncoordinated player.
Yeah, also me.
You wouldn't have scored that sitter though, Tosh.
Yeah, so I just think, as a player, I just thought he was boss. I think he's an underrated player, and he was kind of in the first breed of African footballer that came into England that kind of changed and influenced loads of others. So yeah, I'm putting Kanu forward.
My criticism is that he wore number 4 for Nigeria, so I can't like him. It's not a centre forward's number.
Yes.
There's not very many players that could turn half of Sheffield against London. If I've got this right, wasn't Carnu? It was like an FA Cup game, and Arsenal. No, Sheffield United were gonna like stop play or something, and then Carnu said he didn't understand that play had stopped. Went and scored for Arsenal. They won or something, and then Arsene Wenger was like, "Oh no, you can come and play at Highbury. We'll replay the game." I might have totally butchered this story. Someone else will probably remember better than me.
No, it was. That was his
It
debut.
was Carnu.
It was his debut, yeah.
Do you think he actually didn't understand that the game was stopping, or do you think it was just like the ultimate shithouse move?
Well, I don't know, because it's like you want to say, don't you? In Africa, maybe that wasn't the rules, but he'd played at Ajax. He'd done the Champions League at Ajax.
That's the thing. I appreciate it more if he's like, all right, big shithouse move, first game. I'm gonna cement myself.
Yeah, but then do you know what? I think it says a lot that people still love him.
Yeah, to be fair. I mean, I don't think Sheffield United fans do, but you know.
Yeah, maybe.
Did he score the winner in the cup final for Portsmouth?
I think he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Because not many people scored the winner in the FA Cup final.
It's a strong contender, that Carnu, yeah.
There's also that goal. I swear, like, you used to see that goal he scores against Chelsea all the time. That was one of them goals. Another one where the goalie's out
the
wide.
keeper.
Yeah. That was one of them goals that you see all the time. You don't see that as much these days. Unbelievable goal. You think he's never shooting from there.
That was the third of a hat trick as well.
Yeah, it was hat trick. Yeah.
Which is quality, innit?
Yeah.
Brilliant goal. Yeah, great suggestion, Sean. A bit outside the box. I like it. Not many people would come up with that one, so I like your thinking. Should we go to our guest, Cam? What are you thinking?
I'd like to do an honourable mention first for the man who made strawberry syrup cool again, Demba Ba. But he does play for Newcastle, so I can't like him.
Fair enough.
There's only one man, the terror of eyelash technicians everywhere, Abdoulaye Doucouré. A disrespected player. Frank Lampard, hang your head in shame over the treatment of that man, that angel on earth. He was sent him to train on his own, and he's done nothing since he come to Everton but profess his deep love. He's chuffed. He is chuffed to be playing for Everton. That fella, there's something not there. I don't. It might be defamation, but I don't think he's all there for the sheer love he shows for Everton. I mean, beyond compare. And we would have gone down without him. There's no question that he's done the impossible there. That goal he scored against, who was it now? I just remember colours. Bournemouth, last day of the season. Totally lost my head. I was in the Dean's house in Prescott, like jumping around on tables, just chucking pints over my own head, admittedly. I was totally lost it. And he re-signed for Everton with a clause in his contract, so I understand it, saying he can't go to AFCON. And with it being like, an AFCON theme, I think it's a bit off. But, I mean, I don't know if you've seen those Marley kits, but they are saucy. I wouldn't be turning down the opportunity to wear one of them. If I hadn't put a load of terry on over Christmas and still looked all right in a football kit, I would not take that thing off. As a technical dream, Joseph will be proud of. But my favourite thing about Abdoulaye Doucouré is he pegs it round the pitch, putting 112% in, and looks like he doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He's like there's bulls in China shops. This guy's like a bull with an AK-47 in the China shop. Like, nothing's safe, nothing's sacred. And yet, it comes off. He reminds me of me at five-a-side. He looks like he has no idea what he's doing. Next thing, he toe pokes at top bins. And you think he didn't mean that, but he knows he did. Abdoulaye Doucouré will never be a player like him again.
What a fantastic argument that was.
Yeah. I'm voting for the Duke now.
The Duke, good man.
I reckon I was the first one calling him the Duke. I think I was. I honestly do think I was. I do. I started it a couple of years ago, and I was doing it in joke, and I think I was the first one calling the Duke. So, Callum, what are your thoughts? Have you been convinced?
I mean, it was a great argument, and he's done a lot for the club.
Oh, hasn't he?
but I'm just not having him as a player, to be honest.
What?
I'm not.
Wash your mouth out with soap, man. That's sickening.
I'm thankful for the goal he scored, obviously, and
goals as well. He scored so many important ones, like Forest and Bad Brighton last year.
Just the system uses him and needs him well, but I just don't think he's a very good footballer, to be honest.
Look, mate, I'm thankful to Jesus Christ for sacrificing his life for us, but all he ever did in the end of a cross was die. He whipped one of them into the Duke. half the time, that's a rickle in the back of the net.
You can't argue with that.
I can't believe this.
No, you're right. Cam. Actually, he's my favourite player ever.
Bob, you had your hand up. Was that what you were going to say as well, or
no? But
yeah, I think he works well in the system, and I think we miss him when he's not there. I just don't think he's technically a very good footballer. He just won the midfielder.
Callum sounds like he's making my argument for why I don't like Tim Cahill, but Tim Cahill never saved us from a relegation.
Didn't need to.
Sorry,
I didn't need to because
you don't like Tim Cahill.
Exactly. Let's get on to that one.
It's like a fish saying it don't like water. I don't know what to do without Tim.
You two are going to make Cam go away in a minute if you keep saying stuff like this.
My heart's. I'm having palpitations here.
That's just because you had your tea too quick, there.
It might be.
Yeah, the Duke not for me. But it was a great argument, and yeah, I'm thankful for what he's done.
I sort of know what you mean, Callum. As a footballer, maybe he's not the technically most brilliant, but I think he's been great for us. And I think in that role, you can't really argue with what he does. And as Cam says, the work he puts in. I think Dicey's created a new style of 10 there.
The thing I like about him most is I could see him in every Everton team I've ever watched. That was halfway decent. Point. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely getting over Tim Cahill.
He's I don't know about that.
Not a chance.
He can play as a defensive midfielder though. He can play. We just play him as a 10. He could play as a 6. He could play as an 8. Could play whatever. I mean, we were at top of the league while he was in the team for a brief shining moment.
Yeah, we were nearly relegated as well.
When was that?
Too,
under Ancelotti, wasn't it?
Under Ancelotti.
I do remember it well. It just feels like it didn't actually happen. It was that long ago.
Mm-hmm. My favourite, it's awful really, but my favourite favourite moment of like Ancelotti and the great run was when that rumour spread that James Rodriguez had gender reassignment surgery after the Anfield game. And there was like a WhatsApp message that started doing the rounds that ended with, "They've chopped his dick off, lad." It's awful. It's so bad. Do you remember the bruised testicle at Anfield? Yeah, hormones. Come on now. It's awful. They've chopped his dick off, lad. Oh.
That's this week's libelous one, Sean.
Oh dear.
At least that's already a well-known story.
Yeah, exactly. Can't get done for
that. Fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Thanks, Cam.
You're welcome.
Callum, go on. You can go. I'll go last.
So I'm going to go with a player who's definitely going to be argued against. But he played for African nation in the AFCON. And my favourite AFCON Premier League player is Riyad Mahrez. I think just technically he is absolutely brilliant. I think he's got the best outside of the foot control of anyone in the world. The way he controls the ball with the outside of his foot from a switch pass. Obviously, unbelievably good and iconic in that Leicester team with Vardy. And then going to City, he's just like crazy good. His dribbling, the way he plays, he's skillful, he's exciting, quick, can finish. I think he was just like a proper City player in that squad. I was just a player like you loved watching, and if he was on the bench, you loved when he would come on, and you wanted him on the pitch, and you just always thought that he was going to do something. Whenever City was struggling, you thought that he was going to be the one who might make something happen. And yeah, I just think, obviously the opposite to maybe like the core, I was saying not very technically good. I think Mahrez is just like so technically good. It's a joke. Just like so powerful on his left foot. Possibly like struggle to defend against him. I know he's French and born in France. Possibly hasn't been to Algeria, sure I might say, but that was my favourite AFCON player. I'm going Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, he is famously French.
He is a boring bloke, though, Riyad Mahrez.
I was thinking Callum.
No.
Cal too.
Ask Cam.
Have you seen his outside the boot control? Yeah, Riyad Mahrez he's just a boring fella. And I mean, I live in Manchester now, and I've heard like people who bump into him say he's not very nice. Whereas you say Bernardo Silva really is a nice bloke. Mate of mine, he took them all out for tea.
That does surprise me.
Yeah.
He looks like a nice guy, Bernardo Silva, to be fair.
He does. He does have that look.
I bet you the Duke's a nice lad.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I bet he couldn't do enough for you. I bet you need your
He's
garage
had his
knocking
turn. Come
down.
on.
He just runs straight into it for you.
I would say Callum, he was going to be my pick too. I think there was a time where I would have said he was my favourite non-Everton player in the league.
Were you going to say him until you realised he was French and not African?
Yeah, can I quote the Wikipedia?
Well, I didn't know that, to be honest. But what's that?
Can I quote the Wikipedia just as a little full stop on the whole thing? Mahrez was born in France, and it says, growing up, Mahrez would regularly spend his holidays in Algeria. So
there we go.
Why could play for Salou then?
So when we do Maroon 5 on our favourite Salou players, I'll have you that.
I'm in. Yeah,
I didn't realise. Might get called up for Benidorm any day now.
I think obviously in France there's a very big Algerian contingent, isn't there, as well? So I think a lot of them do. So I think Callum can have that one. I think it's a good one. I think, as he said, one of the most technically gifted players I think there's been in the Premier League. Unbelievable. You say considering he was all left foot, the amount of people he could go either side beating people was just a joke, really. So I like that. I say it probably would have been my pick, really, but it's not. Any other thoughts?
He was incredible for Leicester, wasn't
he? Yeah. I think I only started appreciating him more when he was at City, I think, though. But yeah, just for that Leicester, you think, like, just unbelievable. Then Kante, Vardy to win them the league, just a joke, really. So I'll wrap it up then. So as I say, there's a few in mine. I've decided, since Bob's let us down this week, I'm going to go for an Everton link for mine as well. So there was a couple I had in mind. I nearly went for Yakubu. Just absolutely loved that fella, and he obviously had quite a good Premier League career, not just for Everton. But I think I'm going to opt for Stephen Pienaar for my favourite. The fact it was favourite, I think, makes me just about go for him. I think when we signed him, I didn't know too much about him. And I think what was the most impressive was how quickly he just made that position on the left-hand side his own, alongside a lesser-known left-back called Leighton Baines, helping him out. And I think, again, just such a good player. And that team, I absolutely loved that Everton team. That's my favourite Everton team, the likes of Osman, him, Cahill, Arteta, people like that, Fellaini, just a brilliant football inside. I thought David Moyes doesn't get enough credit for that. Some of the football that team played. Yeah, and again, just the same way, I was really gutted when he left for Tottenham, and I know he sort of messed us about a bit, going for cheap in the January and not signing the contract. Yeah, I just think just a joy to watch, especially him and Baines linking up. Sort of one of them things where you feel like a side, outside the big four, as you might say, shouldn't have as good a link on that left-hand side, but there probably wasn't a better left-hand side in the league around that time, really. Could be wrong. Someone could name one, but for me...
No, I'd say the world.
Okay, well, yeah. Maybe the world. But yeah, I think just for someone I loved watching him, and just the way he played, just really skillful. I loved that goal away at Arsenal, the little chip in the snow, just all sorts of things. Just a fantastic footballer. Any thoughts?
He is a bit tainted for me, the way he left for Tottenham. A bit. I think I might have killed Tosh. How could he? As I say, he's a little bit tainted for me, the way he did that.
Yeah, no, but I can see that.
I mean, I will say for the Yak, just while you mentioned the Yak, he was, what was he, 56 while he was playing for us? Told us he was in his late 20s, mid-20s.
Bit like Canu as well. Canu had that accusation a lot, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he looked at Canu.
He had a heart condition as well, didn't he? He had the heart of a 60-year-old man.
He coaches the under-18s at Ajax now, doesn't he, Stephen Pienaar? I mean,
I know you went back
he
there.
does,
He
yeah.
was a product of the Ajax, like they had the South African
Ajax
link, didn't
Cape
they?
Town, yeah. They've got an
Yeah.
academy there. So I mean, in terms of like technically gifted players, if you wanted to coach that kind of thing, you can't ask for much better than Pienaar there. Because for all his other faults and deficiencies, a player with the ball at his feet, he was a special talent there.
He's a magician, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, and it does help when you have the best left back of all time back in your.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Lucas Dean
easily.
hadn't signed at that point, I don't think.
That's sacrilege. I know I said that thing about Jesus before, but good God, man. Wow, wait.
I also used to like when he used to get drunk and tweet things about Liverpool as well, which was always a bonus. That was always a good
That
thing.
was great, yeah.
Yeah, that always gets us going. Never
Who
seen
was
Leighton
it?
Baines do that.
Who we were saying wasn't a very nice man before?
Mahrez.
Yeah,
Mahrez,
Pienaar
yeah.
wasn't. Stephen Pienaar used to live up the road from me and our school, and he was a bit of a miserable sod when I obviously
No
very
way.
excitedly said hello to him. So that was disappointing, but
You were probably
Oh.
knocking at his door in the middle of the night, though, Bob. Knowing
Ask if he knows where Baines is.
it was just before he had signed for Tottenham as well. So
Oh, maybe he was proper
yeah.
miserable for a while.
That's
Yeah,
why he left.
so-
Bob, harassment from Bob.
every single day, getting banners outside his house saying sign a new contract, and he never did. It's all my fault.
Right, well, another great. Oh, I forgot to mention my book. This was a book I read. I meant to mention my book club. Yeah, no longer naive about the African nations of the World Cup. This week's book, very good. Sean wouldn't let me have any of the players this week, so I gotta mention the book.
I might have a read of that.
Even you couldn't name them, Tosh.
Doesn't
I asked you the
matter.
name and you went the fella that scored for Algeria. Oh, great.
It was a good one though.
Mahrez.
I'll Google him.
Yeah,
Google
Rabah
him on
Madja.
any given Saturday for it.
Yeah. You'd have asked me to scored in Germany, Algeria in 1982. I'd have said that fella from the book, and I'd have been right. Okay, then. So we'll wrap it up and do a little summary. So for African players who've played in the Premier League, we've had
Otherwise born in France.
yeah, all born in France, whatever. Stephen Pienaar, Canu, Decore, the Duke, as coined by me, Riyad Mahrez, and Yaya Toure. So get yourself over to X and get us a vote in, please.
It's time then to play our eponymous game, if that's the right word. I think it is. Trying to sound fancy. Keeping up appearances. So how this game works, if you're new, we choose 3 fixtures from the upcoming game week, put them into a wheel, and the wheel randomly selects one. That game will then become the focus for keeping up appearances. Now, our rule as of a couple of weeks ago was that the guest chooses the games. So, Cam, I don't suppose you fancy choosing our 3 games, do you?
Oh, for this week coming up, I don't even know what's on.
So there should be the remaining 5 games from. Obviously, we had 5 this weekend, 5 next weekend. If you just choose 3 games out of those 5.
So, got the Ian Wright derby, Arsenal Palace.
Okay.
Okay. Looking through them now, they're a little bit boring. Let's go Brentford, Nottingham Forest. I want to see how Forest deal with the points deduction. That work?
Yeah, all good.
Sound. And can they be match day 22?
No, just this one.
Just this one, right. Oh, Brighton Wolves then. Got Brighton Wolves.
Tell you what,
Something might happen there.
slim pickings there.
Mm.
So, out of those 3 games, we're going to get a fixture for our game of keeping up appearances. So, let's spin the wheel and see what we get. And I'll play it there so Bob can tell that it's not a fix.
Needs to worry about other things that are not a fix.
Luckily for us, I think it's Arsenal Palace. We might actually have
Thank God for that.
So, before we play our game and we get our number, anyone got any thoughts on that game? How do you think it'll go? Any predictions?
I reckon Palace.
Any reason other than the fact that Arsenal aren't playing well?
I think Palace are one of those teams that never seem to win and always end mid-table. Is the truism that I haven't come up with, but the truism's for a reason. And when they were playing City the other day, there's a Palace fan at work who was moping around all week and saying about how they were going to get battered. I was like, there's never been anything more nailed on than Palace getting something against City in December. And I just think they're overdue. And as you say, Arsenal aren't playing well. And as much as I hate Newcastle, I also hate Arsenal. So, back Palace.
I don't think I know anyone that hates Arsenal.
No, neither do I.
I've got a couple of mates one's from Wigan Way, one's from Huyton, and another one's from like Hertfordshire, and they're all Arsenal fans. And they all have this cockamamie like, oh, growing up, it was all about Thierry Henry. I love Thierry Henry. Like, off, mate.
Just Sean.
That sounds a bit like me, that.
Now, they're all going on about how much, it's this thing about a team's good when you're growing up, so you start supporting them. No, I can't get on board. I mean, I must have done some terrible, terrible things in a past life because I was born an Evertonian. I'll die one blue in the face. So I can't believe that people can just pick a team out of nowhere. And a load of my friends, they'd even get away with Liverpool because they're born close enough. But they all pick Arsenal, so I hate Arsenal. There you go.
I think they'll start winning again, Arsenal. I think, they need to. If they've got any chance of getting back in that race, haven't they? I think, some bad results today. Seems ages since there was Premier League football. Was that them getting beat to Fulham their last game in the Prem? They obviously had that spell. They got beat to West Ham and they got beat to Fulham, didn't they, in quite close proximity? But yeah, I think you just feel they were okay against Liverpool, weren't they, in the first half? Should have scored. As we mentioned last week, if Kai Havertz wasn't playing, they'd probably win that game quite comfortably. But that's, I think, the story of the season, creating lots of chances and not scoring them. But I think they'll have enough to do Palace. But I think Cam's right. Palace do have that something about them, don't they, where you're just quite unpredictable. They've got some unpredictable players. You never know, like if Eze and Elise turn up. Not sure if they're fit. But obviously we'll have Palace before then, won't we? We've got, when this goes out, we'll have already hopefully knocked Palace out the FA Cup. But yeah, I think I'd be fast. That's why I said hopefully. Potentially always jinxing it, but yeah, hopefully we will have knocked them out, and hopefully I hope Arsenal were to win. I'd quite like Arsenal to stay in the title race.
Yeah, me too.
You're right about Palace there. If they all turn it on at the same time, that's a challenge for any defence. Eze, Elise. I mean, the strikers aren't great, but Mateta is like, when you're that much of a beanpole, you can get on the end of something. Just whip it anywhere and see what happens. The corridor of uncertainty must be that team's best friend.
Well, we've got a bit of an expert on here, like Palace and their things. So, Sean, what do you think?
I'll hand you over to the real expert in a minute. But I don't know if you remember, lads, but at the start of the season, we did like pre-season predictions, and for some reason, I had this optimism that Cam's got about Palace. I had it about their whole season. I honestly thought Palace were going to have a blinder. I just thought that the spine of the team was good enough to really push for something this season. And again, it just doesn't seem to happen. I don't know why it never seems to happen. As you say, they're always capable of like the odd big result, but I just don't. It's never sustained. It's never consistent with Palace. So
it's always it's always going to be a challenge when it looks like your manager's actually melting. So.
That's awful. What a terrible thing to say about a British sporting institution.
And he looks like me nan.
That's a bit harsh on your nan, isn't it?
Well.
Nan looks like she's melting.
Yeah, leaving Nan by the fire. Oh shit! We forgot to move Nan. That's horrible.
So yeah, I think Arsenal win it. I just do. I can't see them losing another one.
I reckon Kai Havertz will score the winner.
Oh,
yeah.
I've got a feeling
Palace then.
No, I think it'll be 1-0 Arsenal. Havertz will score just because he's been getting so much dogs abuse for very good reason. I just think he'll leak one. Don't know why.
Yeah, I'm obviously a big fan of Palace. Big fan of Palace and a massive fan of Eze. I think he's unbelievable. He's one of my favourite players in the Prem, to be fair. You let him off, Bob. You know how good he is. One of my favourite players in the Prem, and I love the way Palace play and the players they've got. I think that Elise is great as well. I don't think he'll be there for much longer. I could see him going to like a City or someone. Or to be fair, or like an Arsenal. I think they've possibly got two of the best players outside like the top six. I think Eze and Elise maybe like two of the best players out of the top 4 or 5 clubs.
After Doucouré.
He'd be well down the list.
Absolutely incomparable. Gets his own list, that fella.
We'll see. I think probably Arsenal will win. Yeah, Arsenal might just be a bit too strong for them, but no, I'm not going to diss Palace because I'm a big fan of those guys.
They could go to another level, Palace, if they just got rid of that yard dog, Will Hughes. He's awful, and he's not good at anything, that fella. And this lad at work seems to reckon the fella who partners him, is it another Doucouré, that guy's name?
Yeah, Cheikh Doucouré, yeah.
Yeah, he was like,
should be sacked.
Yeah, he was going, yeah, well, if we need to sell anyone, we'll get 65 million quid for him. It's like, off who? Who's got that to spend on him?
65 million for who?
Doucouré.
Cheikh Doucouré.
For Will Hughes.
Oh my God, nah.
What a statement is that?
Will Hughes is nearly as old as Roy Hodgson, isn't he?
I can't stand him.
Well, again, he was one of them ones, wasn't he? When he was like 17, like wasn't he like linked to go to like
he was
top
at Derby,
club for
wasn't
like
he?
Derby, yeah. Again, he was. He seems to have been there forever, doesn't he? Was he somewhere else like after Derby?
Watford. Was it?
Oh yeah.
I think I might have seen Will Hughes live once because I went to go see a friendly between Derby and Villarreal, and they had Giuseppe Rossi up front. And I don't know if he was still there. Probably weird. My mate's working there, and he said, "Do you want to come see Villarreal?" Like, yeah, sound. There must have been about 20 people in the stadium. I'd like.
That's the usual home game for Derby, that.
Yeah, they had Nilmar and Giuseppe Rossi up top for Villarreal.
What a strike force that is.
It was a dream, man. And they ripped him to bits as well.
Could have had the certain time. It could have been the aforementioned Riquelme playing, couldn't it?
A little bit before.
Too soon.
Orlan and Senna and people like that, Joe.
Yeah, I know we should hate Villarreal, but I don't know if I can. The little yellow submarine.
Yeah.
They got something about him. I see shades of the Ev in Villarreal, or what I'd like the Ev to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then, should we get our number?
Yep. So, our parameters for the game are between 50 and 450. And the aim of the game is whatever the number lands on, we have to choose a player who's played as close to that many games for either Arsenal or Palace as possible. And our number this week is 335.
Oh, that's legend status, isn't it?
335. Right, so Bob, you mentioned before you've got a song of the week.
Yeah, Callum's actually suggested a better one, but my suggestion was going to be Jet by Paul McCartney and Wings. There is an AFCON link. So the Band on the Run album has just passed 50 years since it was released, and Jet was released this month as a single 50 years ago. And the Band on the Run album was largely recorded in Lagos, Nigeria. So there's your link.
I think Carney recorded that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was on the mixing desk.
What about Africa by Toto?
That's what Carl said.
Can we not have Shakira Waka Waka?
Yeah, we can.
Oh,
yeah.
What a tune!
That's easily the best.
Kanon's waving flag was better than that for that World Cup anthems.
No, absolutely no chance.
That's that was a belter. That
no.
When I get older, I will be stronger.
That was a great song, to be fair.
Just sing the whole song
so
for
catchy. I couldn't do the old song. I've
Oh,
walked
yeah,
down
we
my
get
tea too much,
copyrighted
my
now.
throat hurts.
You can't do the old song. Bob just read the whole Wikipedia page for Jet, so
I didn't
Oh.
actually do my research.
Yeah, and it was worthwhile as well because we're not going with it.
Well, I am, so you can stop.
Right, so while you're preparing your guesses for 335 games for Arsenal or Palace, have a listen to Waka Waka by Shakira, or we'll go Waving Flag by Kanan as well. We'll have a football theme, both World Cup anthems. Have a
Rude.
little
or
listen.
Africa by Toto.
No, wasn't involved in the World Cup.
It was.
Was it?
One of them played in the World Cup.
One of the members of Toto?
Yeah.
Oh.
Shut up.
No, I didn't really.
Oh. That was in your
Are
book.
you being serious?
No, the way you said it, honestly, I bought that then.
So did I.
Right, do you know what? There's no time to listen to a song. Just put your guesses in now.
It's
Africa is quite a long song as well, isn't it? So
And it's overplayed.
quite a long continent for that
It
fella
is,
who's
yeah.
running it as well.
Yeah, he's doing well, though, isn't he?
Hasn't he been robbed loads, that fella? Wouldn't you just give in? Like
Yeah.
someone pinched his trainers. Like, come on.
You must have sore feet now. But
Like someone at gunpoint was like, "Gives you Lonsdales." Like it's like taking a run through Pardons and Tellings. No, I give up.
I bet that ground's dead hot as well on your feet when you run.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like...
man. He's ginger as well, that bloke, isn't he?
Yeah. Someone said on Twitter the other day, though, they were like, "This must be the smallest like effort to profit ratio ever." Like he's ran the whole of Africa. He's raised like 100 grand or something. It's like, could have earned that by just staying at home.
Didn't he raise like about 100 grand for that German girl who was crying in the Euros? He must have raised about 100 grand. And she didn't meet any tribes.
Yeah, I have never seen anyone try and pinch her trainers. She's got it so easy.
That's why she was crying, I think.
Me Lonsdales. I don't think I can change mine now from what I thought it was before. You ever played that Tika Taka Toe game where you get all the it gives you like a grid and you get like your teams and your nations and you have to like pick the same one. I hope none of the bosses are listening, but I played that in work with this Palace fan, and we had a game today, and that's what I'm going to go for. The player who he was saying, Palace legend.
All right. Ooh.
And he's a yard dog as well.
Your mate or the
Your mate or the Palace player?
Both of them. To be fair, this lad, he scored a naughty back heel when we were playing fives the other day, so I can't really call him a yard dog.
Any ex-Wigan players playing your game, or?
Not to the best of my knowledge. I think I've ever played with anyone famous. I think a mate of mine was saying Man United legend. His son turned up the other day wearing like a full Man United retro kit, like retro shorts, like black boots. All must have been proper dear, like match edition stuff. I just think, what a tosser.
Who was it?
I can't think of the fella who's. No, it's not going to come to me.
No.
But that's libelous anyway, so I'll get you all into trouble. If he's listening though, he'll know who he is, and he'll look at his match worn kit ready for the next game and think, "Why am I doing this?"
I can assure you, he's not listening. I can assure you that.
Chances are he's not, unless it's one of us.
Oh. Right, so do I need to write my guess down and hold it up, or could I just say it?
No, you just say it.
Just say it, you'll say it.
Should I go then?
Have you got anyone else got a guess?
I've got my
No.
guess. I've got one.
Sorry, Cam. We'll be as quick as we can.
Tense the tension. Shall I sing Waving Flag?
Yes, please.
I'd have to get the bongo drums out from downstairs. Do that iconic intro. I swear he did another version as well. The version that everyone likes is from a Coca-Cola advert. And he
Yeah,
did a
it is,
version
yeah.
before that was like slow and melancholic.
He had
We almost
back-
didn't have it.
good link back to the podcast, Tosh. K9 actually had a great song with Maroon 5.
Did he?
Yeah, it was called Bang Bang. It's a good one. Listen to. Next time you come on, Cam, you can sing that to us.
Oh, Bang Bang by K9 and Maroon 5.
Yeah.
I'll have it as my ringtone. When Tony Abbott rings me to wish me happy birthday.
I don't remember that one.
It's great, you know. K9 sings the chorus.
Yeah, you
Oh, he
don't.
doesn't. That's not true.
Oh,
He sings the verses. There's no way he's kicking Adam Levine off choruses.
No one does a chorus like it. That's why he's the best in the world.
don't know about
Yeah. You had him as your phone background, didn't you, Tosh?
that.
Lock
Still
background.
does.
When he delivers you an award-winning feature like ours, Sean, you've got to respect him.
Yeah, that is true. Bring it
Soon-
all.
I'm done.
Bring it
soon
all
to
the
be
view
award.
with it. Right, I've got one.
I've got one. I've got Arsenal player. One.
You got one, Tosh?
Yeah, I really struggle though, so I've got a few, but I'm just not confident.
Right, you can go at the end then if you want.
Yeah, okay.
Right, time's up. So it's time to hear our answers. So we'll start off with the man who's been waiting so patiently while he listens to some K9. We'll let Cam go first.
Right. I'm going to go for Joel Ward for Crystal Palace. Forgotten
Sounds like
man,
it was a shot.
hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, he's been there years, hasn't he?
Apparently
captain,
still
isn't he?
plays football. Apparently. I mean, I never see him. But
If I'm right as
apparently he's
well,
there.
wasn't he tipped to be coming to Everton to replace Baines?
Oh, God, no.
I'm sure he was, you know.
Well, Baines still hasn't been
God.
replaced, so thank God for that.
Shame.
I'm almost certain he was.
I'd have taken him, to be honest.
I got Vitali. Vitali does a hell of a job these days. On SofaScore, he's the best left back in the Prem. Like they said, Dwight McNeil was the best left mid in the Prem last year, according to aggregate performances over the course of a season.
You didn't write
Consistent
that, did
7 out
you?
of 10.
Did you and Bob come to that one together?
Yeah.
I saw it the other day.
Ducore, best number 10 as well.
Right. Has anyone else got Palace, by the way?
I haven't.
No.
I've got Arsenal.
No.
I've
All
got
the
two,
manner.
and one of them played for both.
Oh, okay. Right, go on, Bob. Do you want to go next then?
Actually, I don't think I'll be allowed to say the person who played for both because you've already said his name.
Joel Ward.
So,
I think I know what
no,
he means.
you said Ian Wright, Derby,
Mhm.
and that. So I'll sabotage my own guess for Ian Wright there because I can remember that was it when he scored the record for Arsenal. It was 179 on his shirt, so I thought that kind of made sense numbers wise for number of appearances. So I'm not going to go for him, and have kiboshed anyone else going for that as well. So apologies. My guess, not quite as retro, but no longer at Arsenal. Kind of left in strange circumstances, but was club captain, I think, for a bit. There for quite a while, going for Lauren Koscielny.
Oh.
Be a good one there.
Mhm.
I was almost said Thomas Vermaelen, but he was injured all the time, wasn't he? So I'm quite glad I didn't go for that.
He was
He
from
was
How
there.
he washed up
He was
at
there for his,
Barca.
yeah.
So
he was
weird.
he was there for a similar amount of time, though, wasn't he? But obviously always injured.
I think that's a pretty good shout. Two good shouts there, I reckon.
Yeah. Any volunteers? Carl, do you want to go? Go on.
I'll go. I went with an Arsenal player. Again, 335 a lot, isn't it? Similar to what number did you have last week? Is that another?
87.
Well, it's not before that. The high. We had the high one not too long ago. So I was
I
looking
wasn't
at.
invited to that one.
You know, that's someone who's been there. You're looking towards club legend. I think. Cam said before, someone who's been there a long time and would have played for the duration as well. I'm going another club captain for Arsenal. I'm going to go Cesc Fabregas.
He was in.
I'm sure you've guessed Fabregas before.
I don't think so.
When was he
Haven't you?
there from? 16 to what? 22?
Yes,
23,
that came through
Fabregas?
dead young, didn't he? I reckon
You might
there
be
for
over,
six,
you know.
7, 8 seasons.
He was there, wasn't he? Just around just probably the year after the Invincibles, and then probably he left after did he leave after the World Cup? Maybe.
I think he was
The year after the World, he won the World Cup in 2010. I think, yeah. So probably 5-6 years.
Yeah.
He was in my list. He was one of the
I'm
ones
sure
I was thinking.
somebody's guessed Fabregas before.
I can check, sure, like in a minute. I'm not sure they have, but go on, Sean. Do you want to go?
Right, go on, I'll go. So, I had two. I had another Arsenal captain who was definitely a better guess than the one I'm going for. But keeping the theme. So last week, my Marooned 5 guess was Michael Owen. And I went for Michael Owen. And he scored me second place. So this week, I'm sticking with the brand and I'm going for Carnu, who definitely has played nowhere near them.
No chance at all.
But I don't care.
That might be worse. That might be worse than your Nuno Valenti guess.
No chance. I'm sticking with my man.
Callum, can you start checking a couple?
Yeah, just put me bottom, Cal. It's fine.
Yeah, I was struggling. I had a few names flitting around. I was toying with. My first thought was going for my guest, my Maroon 5 last week, Sol Campbell. I was thinking, I wonder how many he was. Fabregas did enter my mind. I was also then thinking back to that Invincibles team, and I'm going to go with someone from there. So the first thought was Ashley Cole, but again, just by the fact he went to Chelsea and had quite a long career after that, makes me think he wouldn't be as high. But he didn't miss many games, Cole. So I'm actually going to go with a player I loved. And again, no real idea. He was there longer than you think he was. But I'm going to go Freddie Ljungberg.
Ooh.
Because in my head, you think he's around this, but he was playing like 99-ish, I reckon, from Arsenal. So probably around the time they lost the Champions League final.
He had that mad barnet when he first signed, didn't he?
Red hair.
I was going to say, was it pink or red or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't half look a bugger then.
Scored at 2 cup finals in a row as well. 2 FA Cup finals in a row.
He looks like the kind of fella that when he finishes a WKD, he eats the glass as well.
Freddie,
Like,
I wouldn't.
If he wasn't a footballer, he'd
Freddie
manage
Ljungberg.
CEX. Oh, I would.
I'll do Canu Callum.
He managed him for that little spell, didn't he?
He did,
Ljungberg?
yeah.
Reformed character. Stopped looking like he was the bassist in a punk band and put a turtleneck on.
Isn't
he was a model as well?
I was going to say he's famously known as like world's sexiest footballer. What? So obviously,
after Ducore,
he was a big favourite with the ladies.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think he modelled for Calvin Klein and he bicked his head, so you should do the same, Sean.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'll wait for the call. Speaking of which, can I just divert into something? So, I like me sticker books. I was in the loft the other day and I found another one from 99, 2000. This one. I love this sticker book because I think I only need about 5 stickers to finish it. But I was going through it thinking, this isn't good, Nick. This I could might go for a bit. And then I turned to the Liverpool page. And obviously my 8-year-old self has decided to write in the book. So,
does it have any claims about Michael Owen?
Weirdly, it is. It's Michael Owen and Robbie Fowler. And next to them both, I've just written "ugly boy." I don't know what I was thinking.
You could palm that off and say it's Michael Owen's mum's book. And she was so sick of him throwing those apples at the telly. Yeah. She was like, "You're an ugly little boy, Michael."
So Sean, you've gone from like your 10, 11-year-old self not slagging off Rooney and slagging off the old fellas, calling him a Judas and everything, and then you're writing "ugly boy" next to Michael Owen. So that's the same person.
Yeah, but
I didn't believe you last week, and I believe you even less now.
In those 3-4 years, Bob, I matured so much. Honestly, yeah. I'll leave that one with you.
Is that live? Are you going to have to cut that out?
No, that's subjective.
By Michael Owen.
To me, he is an ugly boy. But
We're not saying he said something for the.
yeah,
Would you say? Would you
Ah,
say
right,
whether
okay.
Sean was sad enough to write in a sticker book, and that's something we can all believe.
We can all call Michael Owen whatever we like, but we can't deny he's one hell of a helicopter pilot.
Very true.
Right then, the results are in. Thanks to Callum for getting them. So remember, we'll go from 5th to 1st. 5th, quite unsurprisingly, was. I've done the maths myself here as well. I've done my phone on my calculator. So 138 appearances out was Canu. So Sean in 5th place. We might be able to get.
I'm surprised he made that many. To be fair,
He might be able to get on the island though. So he's got 2 chances of being successful on this podcast. Guesses were better, well, not hard, but much better. In 4th position was Callum with Fabregas, who was 303, so 32 appearances out. So still a pretty good guess for that number, I think. The next 2nd and 3rd were very close. So with 353 appearances, so 18 out, was Lauren Koscielny, which means our guest has made the final 2. So me and Cam in the final 2. One was 16 out and one was 7 out. With 351 appearances was Joe Ward.
hell of an effort that.
That's a brilliant guess, yeah. I've never even.
Especially with someone that like.
And you should get rewarded for going for
well.
Palace as well. Yeah, we all went the obvious for Arsenal. And then Freddie Lundberg, 328, so 7 out. My first victory for a long, long time now.
I can't believe he made that many appearances for him.
Who, Lundberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought he'd be that high, to be fair.
Yeah.
He was there because there was on again on that Sky Sports, there was a game where he played. It was just before they won the league in 01 or 02, and he was playing, scored against United in that one. And again, he was there 7-8 years, so.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah,
take it.
Gosh.
Needed that. Badly needed that.
You did. That will put you back on top of it.
No, but can I just have one complaint on YouTube? It says on this week after 21 games. Can you put an edit on that says that I've only done 20?
No.
And is that including my Nick Barmby guess from the first episode as well?
It is, don't worry.
Right, okay.
that will, yeah, don't worry.
So I've got 2 bones of contention of being charged twice. There's no evidence of that.
Yeah, so Cam's picked up 3 there, so that means the guests are actually getting dangerously close to me as well, aren't they? It's a real worry.
After 22 games played, Bob is still on top on 59 points. Tosh is in a close 2nd position on 54, Callum's in 3rd on 52, and Sean languishing at the bottom on 43. In total, our guests have amassed 17 points.
So thanks for listening to another great episode of Keeping Up Appearances. We've had a good laugh here today with Cam. So Cam, thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Great to have you here. Great to have you. We had a good Marooned 5, lots of fun talk there and some contentious decisions, bit of debate. And yeah, a great Any Given Saturday, and finished off with a very close Keeping Up Appearances. And to be fair, the guests of late have done quite well. I think if the last 3 guests been in the top 2.
No, top 3. Tom's 3rd. Yeah, we had a top 3rd, 2nd and 3rd, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a first.
Yeah, they're giving it a good go. But yeah, thanks for listening. Head over to X to obviously vote on our Marooned 5 and yeah, try and share with your friends if you can.
Come on, Abdullah! Corey! Up the Duke.